Okay, well, gonna start working on bringing you guys the rest of the things that I'm going to be doing to this shed here, and just went and picked up some supplies today, so I'll show you what's going on. I located this electrical box that I had here. This is going to be a way that I can run the power into this shed from right over here. And keep in mind, this is just temporary, because we still haven't really decided if this is going to be the permanent home for this or not. So some of the other things I got going on here is I picked up all the aluminum trim that's going to seal off the seam here where the bare wood is and where the fiberglass sheeting comes together. And got some electrical boxes, a little piece of leftover electric from another project, and yeah, I got a thermometer stuck up there. Next year I'm probably going to install some type of probably like an exhaust fan or something here, thermostatically controlled, so when it gets too warm in here it'll kick on, try to cool it down a little bit. But as it stands right now, this is going to pretty much be our little garden center, places where we can start and grow plants from seed, keep stuff over winter. One of the things I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be keeping a couple green bell pepper plants over winter. So yeah, so I got five sheets of 1.5 inch foam board here with the foil back on one side, so that's what the walls and the floor of that shed are going to get insulated with. A couple pieces of white non-typical drip edge, and that's not what it's used for, but it's going to come in perfect for what I want to use it for, and that's going to be to seal that door case with. So I picked up a few 2x4s. I'm working right now on making the bench that's going to go at the head. I want to get it the way it's going to be before I do much of anything else. Well, made a little headway last night, even though I had to work in the drizzly rain. Just thought I'd show you what I got done last night. So got the start of what's going to be a little workbench built in here. Got the insulation put in. Coming along pretty good. So anyways, I'm gonna try to finish the bench top here. I've got some aluminum edging that I'm going to be putting on around the casing here, seal it up from the weather, and to hide the ends of these boards and this seam where the fiberglass comes together. So that's what I'm working on. Alright, so making more headway on the shed here. Just thought I'd show you what I've done since the last update. And all the trips I was making in and out, things were getting muddy, so I had this old plastic pallet and I threw it down. So one of the updates I've done is I've got the drip edge put around the door, and all that really is just drip edge. So I fastened it with last screws inside the door case, and the same self-tapping sheet metal screws on the outside. So it's gonna keep the weather off the bare wood, and turned out pretty good, not too bad. I did do a little more siliconing up here on some suspected places where I thought the water might have been getting in around this old truck cap. And I think I got it too, because everything seems to be dry in here today in the corners, even though it rained a lot last night. Finished putting the support braces underneath the bench. Had a piece of leftover fiberglass from doing the walls, put that on. Thought that'd make a nice surface to be able to do something at. And so now I'm just getting ready to bring the electric in. Probably gonna mount a box here and one over here just above the bench in the corner. So So I want to do that before I move on to the floor. 'Cause once I insulate the floor, which I actually have the two pieces cut right there, and that's the one that's going to go in here. The reason I decided to run a 2x4 up the center and not have the whole thing insulated is because I'm going to put boards over top of this and put a wooden floor in. I'm going to use the same boards I used on the outside. The only difference is I'm going to run them all through my table saw, make sure they're all exactly the same width, everything's square, and just do a better job than I did on the outside, just because I'm not, on the outside I knew I was going to cover it with something else, so I didn't have to worry about, if there was cracks or blemishes and stuff. I'll take better care to do the floor, and then I'll seal the floor with, probably some kind of, urethane or something like that. So anyways, that's the update for now, and I'll keep plugging away at it. Alright, didn't get as much done yesterday as I'd hoped to, but some mornings I just can't get up as early as others after working all night at the plant. So anyways, I'll show you what I got here. I got all my tools and stuff picked up a little bit. I can't remember whether I had this piece put down. I believe I did. So basically, after finishing the trim around the door, then I went ahead and got the electric outlets put in here, and got everything tied together in this box. Going to be able to run an extension cord from there over to one of those GFIs mounted right there. And again, this is just a temporary setup until we figure out for sure what's going on. So right now I'm getting ready to put those two pieces, there's two pieces already cut over there on the trailer. They're going to go right in here on the floor. So I'm going to get some glue put down, get them put down, and then the next step's going to be start cutting all the boards for the wooden floor that's going to go on top of the insulation. So I'll keep you updated. Working this morning on getting some boards laid down on the floor over top of the insulation, so we can start walking in there and kind of figure out how we're going to do the rest of it. So this is what I got going on. I decided to bring my little pancake compressor and my finish nailer out here, and I'm gluing the boards down. So this is what I'm going to end up with. It's just again, just reusing what I have. And I don't know whether I mentioned this before or not, but the electric that I put in here to these two outlets, and then out to this conduit, I ended up with about two pieces 6 inches in length, and that was it. Again, that was just a coil of wire that I had left over from another project, and it worked perfect for this. So just trying to use as much as we possibly can. Got a as far as the flooring's going to go, we have 2 half gallons of 2 completely different brands of wood sealer, and that's what's going to get mopped on the boards to preserve them and seal them up from any wetness and stuff that we track in. So going to keep plugging away at it, and I'll bring you more updates as it evolves. All right, back with a little more work being done on the shed. So the things I'm trying to knock out this morning are going to be doors fitting tight right here. So I've already put a line where I'm going to open the door, and I'm going to trim that off. Brought the sweeper over from the garage. Gonna sweep and clean things up a little bit in there after getting the floor down, and I'll show you how that turned out. Not too bad. This is all the salvaged wood, just like I put on the outside of the building. So feeling pretty good about that. Got the inch and a half insulation on the floor, same as I do on the walls, and got the boards over top of it, so that ought to keep the cold from coming through. So one of the other issues I'm working on right now is, I don't know if you can see that or not, but yeah, that's thermometer up there is saying that it's like 87 degrees in here, when the actual air temperature right now is closer to 61. So there's been a couple days where I've opened up this door and it's been over 100 in here. So between the black truck cap and all the glass up there, this thing is heating like crazy. Too good, actually. So what I did yesterday was I ordered an exhaust fan and a temperature controller that I'm going to mount up as high as I can, probably in this south-facing wall that gets the least amount of weather. The exhaust fan does have louvers that open and close when the fan kicks on and off. And so the idea here is I'll probably set it at about 80, 85. So whenever the temperature gets warmer than that, the exhaust fan's going to kick on. Going to start trying to pump some of this hot air out. I've got this little cube heater here that was down in the basement that we haven't used for years, and I'm guessing for the size of this unit and the amount of insulation that I have in here that I'm going to be able to keep this around 50 degrees with very, very little run time on that heater this winter. It's happening. So anyways, got to trim the door, get it working better. Going to run the sweeper. Another thing of just using what we have. There's a partial can of the Flood wood preservative and a partial can of the Kills brand that we've used on different projects over the last year or two. So I don't know how much it's going to take, but I'm going to slop that all on the floor in here and seal this up really good, because everything that this is made out of is just, there's no treated lumber, it's just all soft pine. And get this sealed up really good, so if there's any spills or just tracking in and out and whatnot, that it's not going to further do any damage to the floor. So anyhow, that's where I'm at. Alright, so I think I'm done working on this for today. So anyways, I got the door primered, and I got 2 coats of sealer put on the floors. Ended up I had more of the floods than I thought I did, and it goes further than you'd think it would. So anyways, gonna leave that here to dry, and then maybe put a 3rd coat on the floor, and got to put a coat of exterior white on the door, and that ought to have things sealed up pretty good from the elements. So well, hey, I just trying to get a few things done here on a chilly autumn day. Wanted to show you what I got going on with the with the truck cap shed / greenhouse. So had a few things arrive in the mail the other day that I think's really going to work super good with this. You'll understand why when I tell you that it's like 43 degrees this morning outside, but yet I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's 70 inside here. So this thing is going to do so much heating on its own, it's just crazy. That's why I feel like this little cube heater that I pulled out of the basement that hasn't been used for anything else is going to do wonders, and hardly have to even run to keep heat in here this winter. But for the over temperature, this is what I just got. I've got this digital temperature controller. Never used anything quite like this before, but it's pretty straightforward. The unit gets plugged in and programmed. You've got your the temperature sensor here, which I'll locate it about as high as I can get it, and then whatever appliance you're trying to run off of this temperature controller plugs right into the bottom of it. So it's pretty easy to set up and use, And this is what I'm going to run off it. This is a 7-inch louvered fan. Pretty excited about this. So again, I'm going to mount this about as high as I can up where the heat's going to be. And I'm going to set the temperature controller so that whenever the temps get above, I'm going to say 85, that the fan's going to kick on. Now through the winter, I doubt that this thing's hardly ever going to run, but this time of year when the temperatures are fluctuating so much, and in the spring of the year, I think between the heater not letting the temperatures drop too cold at night and the fan keeping it from not getting so blazing hot, in the hottest part of the day, I think I'm going to be able to control the temperature in here enough where the plants that we want to try and keep over winter, I think are going to do fine, and I think it's going to give us the advantage of being able to, start things from seed inside this little building, months ahead of time. So, but anyways, I'm gonna I'll bring you a little bit more video here of me installing it. I think it's going to go right up here on this panel, and this is the side that receives the least amount of weather and wind, so that's the side I'm going to exhaust the air from. And now the only other thing I may have to add is an air intake, which I'll mount somewhere down around the very bottom, or possibly even through the floor, with a screened air intake that can be closed off. I'm thinking something similar to like they used to use around crawl space or basement windows that have a winter slider on them, so you can close them off for the season. But I'm just afraid that I've got this thing sealed up so tight, about the only air that it's going to get when the fan kicks on, when it tries to create a vacuum in here, is going to be around the door, and that might be enough. I don't know. It's going to be trial and error. So I'm going to work on trying to get this fan installed today, and I'll bring you a little bit of footage of that happening. And then I think that's going to wrap this up for this season. I may put a couple pictures at the end of this once we get some of our stuff set in here. I get some of the plants potted out of the garden that we want to try and keep over the winter, and I'll bring you a couple shots of that. So I'm not sure if this has been of any interest to anybody, but this is just another example of how we try to repurpose as much as we possibly can around here. And so okay, hey, we'll catch you next time. Hey, I'm back with one last update here for this year anyways. Maybe in the spring I'll bring some more interior updates, but just wanted to give you one last look at what I got going on here. Inside turned out pretty nice. Don't have anything on the walls yet. Just out of time. So, but I think where I was at the last time was bringing you this exhaust fan. So between this black truck cap and all of these windows, this thing gets extremely hot. Like, it runs 20 to 30 degrees hotter than the regular ambient temperature. So what I came up with is, you've probably seen this sitting here. I'm trying to get this set so that the temperature in here doesn't drop below 50 degrees. 55, 50, 55, something like that. And then this is an digital controller for the exhaust fan, and I have it set for Fahrenheit, set temperature. I have, I don't know if you've seen that, 85. So basically I'm going to try and control the temperature 30 degrees in here. I don't want it to drop below 50, and if it gets hotter than 85, this exhaust fan is going to kick on. And it wasn't bad to install. It could use some trim around the outside, so what I did here is it fit tight enough that I just siliconed it and put some stainless steel fasteners around here. So I'll have to put something to keep the wind from blowing this open this winter. And but I'm sure we're going to have some warm days where I can play around with this and tweak these temperature controllers and maintain the temperature I want to in here, because the next step is, last thing for this year is going to be, I don't know if you can see them clear over there, but I've got some pepper plants that I'm going to dig up, and I'm going to pot up a couple of those big green bell pepper plants, and I'm going to try and keep them all winter. I just think it would be so awesome if I can start next season with plants that are already 2 feet tall. So, yeah, just an experiment, you know. I don't know if anybody else has tried to keep something like that through the winter. You know, we're up here in zone 5, so winters get pretty hard, and you know, I'm just going to give it a try. I mean, you wait all year for some of this stuff to grow and get the size where it'll start producing for you, and I just thought it would just really be awesome if you could just start with some huge plants. You know, not to mention that this is going to be a great place for us to, you know, be able to start all of our plants from seeds, which is something that in the past we've just not done much of, and now that we have a place to do it, we control the temperature. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, this is going to get us months of jump start on our plants for our gardens. And again, because zone 5, your growing season's so short, some stuff you need that extra, you know, 30 days, 40 days, 60 days of growth, just to you know, watermelons, pumpkins, anything that takes a longer growing period of time. That's the way to go. So alright, I'm going to wrap this video up, and like I said, next year when if we move it or if we don't, either way, we're going to you know, if we're going to finish the inside, we're going to start mounting some shelves. We're going to be I'll be doing that early in the spring, just so we can set, you know, trays of seeds in. But haven't really made up my mind yet what I'm gonna cover the walls with, or how we're going to do it. So we've got a few months this winter that we can kind of think about it, see what we're going to do, and there'll probably be a third installment to this truck cap shed / greenhouse. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.